So we've got Chris Froome before and after. Chris Froome is the new Lance Armstrong. He's definitely helped cycling take off in England. Bradley Wiggins, Team Sky. Love or hate them, Team Sky have done a US Postal in terms of building up the sport. And I'm a fan of US Postal, fan of Team Sky, fan of professional cycling. I like that he just gets mainstream people onto bikes. It brings cycling, bicycle commuting, the cycling lifestyle, it brings it over to the mainstream. And that is important for the environment. It's important for community. It's important for safety. But a lot of people are like, I don't want to hear about that. I want to lose weight. I want to get motherfucking lean. I want to get fucking Chris Froome, praying mantis lean. So we have here a picture of Chris Froome. We've got no internet here. All right, so we're going to run off Wi-Fi here. Let's see if we can go sumo wrestler. Yeah, we can still click on here. So we've got the Chris Froome here. The sumo wrestler, we've got Chris Froome. So we've got two athletes here. Similar genetics, similar genetics in that you can make someone obese. Similar genetics in that this guy here, you can tell that he's an ectomorph behind that. He's got quite skinny wrists, like Chris Froome, ectomorph, skinny wrists. But this sumo wrestler, he eats high fat. And we have Chris Froome here, eats high carbohydrate, low fat, because every gram of fat you eat is the fat you wear. So you can see here Chris Froome eating more fatty stuff, more dairy, more whey. And here you can see him, he looks like a vegan. He looks like one of those carved up, high carb, lean vegans, doesn't he? He looks like that. He almost looks like a little bit like me. Actually, he's probably a little bit less muscular than me. So you can even see this here. You can see this police officer is grabbing Chris Froome, thinking he's stolen the bike. You know what I mean? He's thinking some heroin smacky from Brixton has stolen a fucking Team Sky Dogma riding down the hill. So the Gendermere is grabbing Chris Froome, and Chris Froome's stepping up. He's about to throw some haymakers, some praying mantis haymakers on the Calder Aspin. And luckily there's some fans in here going, hey, Gendermere got police officer with the gun. You're doing your job. We respect that. But you've actually just tackled Chris Froome off the fucking bike. And he could have, you know what I mean? That's pretty crazy. Imagine how embarrassed he must feel. You're at the Tour de France and you don't know who Chris Froome is. It is a little bit, and this is what the professional cyclists have to fucking deal with. When in the NFL or the NBA or whatever would a police officer tackle one of the players? That would never happen. So pro cycling is good in that the fans can get up close and personal, but also can be very dangerous for the riders. So to be a pro rider, you have to be willing to deal with stuff like this. These pictures are a bit grainy. Let me plug in some Wi-Fi, see if we can get some better HD effect here. I want to see some striations. All right, let's get started. Okay, so here we have Chris Froome. This is what Chris Froome does. Chris Froome gets hit by a motorbike. His bike's fucked. There's no team. He starts running up the fucking hill. So Chris Froome personifies, don't sit on your fucking ass with excuses. Keep fucking running, bitch. Keep running. Keep running up the hill. That's what Chris Froome personifies there. So bike ain't working, run in road shoes with your helmet on. Keep going. So this is what we can learn from Chris Froome. And this is one of the funny ones, all right? Chris Froome won his third Tour de France in 4 years on a low-carb, higher-protein diet, The dumb fucks out there trying to claim that Chris Froome won the Tour de France on how many? We've got 300 calories here right now. 300 calorie breakfast, and you're burning like 10,000 calories down the Tour de France. So there'd be people out there going, wow, Chris Froome won the Tour de France. I might do the Tour de France next year. I might do that. That's just what we're talking about. The dummies out there. Chris Froome won the Tour de France on a low-carb diet. That's what people are saying out there. And if you go to the Team Sky website, maybe we can find that, where he's eating a kilo of sugar a day. A kilo of sugar a day. But again, you have just the nonsense out there. So what's Chris Froome doing for weight loss? He definitely looks like he's going vegan. All this low-carb stuff is just a joke. Maybe that's what he's doing when his weight does rebound a lot. I've ridden with Chris Froome a few times. He's a very approachable guy. Chris Froome, I've found him very, very down to earth. Chris Froome, multi-million-dollar athlete, and he sits on the bike like he's a weekend warrior. He'll talk to you like he's a weekend warrior. He'll talk to you like he actually, not even a weekend. I know arrogant weekend warriors. Chris Froome found him very, very down to earth. He knows who I am, but I even saw him interact with fans who were like, who didn't have social media presence. Because he's just nice to you, Harley, because you got big audience. No. Well, maybe, but I saw him interact with other fans, and he was just as polite to them he was to me. So that was good. And I do hear positive stories about Chris Froome. Some riders out there, won't mention any names, they're fucking arrogant fuckwits. But in general, Chris Froome, Richie Port, Geraint Thomas, these guys in recent years, quite friendly. So yeah, this is this is hilarious. Look at that. Look how this police officer's arm is bigger than Chris Froome's leg. Look at this. His bicep is bigger than Chris Froome's thigh. So Chris Froome's body weight does fluctuate a lot. And look at that face. I mean, he does look like he's coming out of Brixton or Manchester. He's been rummaging through bins looking for some banana skins or something. So there is some weight loss transformation there. There's definitely some transformation going on there. So this is what I would look like if I trained more. And if I've never ever took steroids, I'd be this sort of skinny. So that's the difference there. So in body fat, my body fat as lean as Chris Froome, I definitely have a more muscle because I do a bit more weights and stuff like that. But I'm not doing those sort of mileages. So you can see Chris Froome, his body weight does fluctuate. He's pretty lean. He just looks a lot different because he's got a bit more puppy fat in his face. But he's in that picture, he's very, very lean. He's very, very lean. So, but as much as this, let's find out Chris Froome's diet. Let's go. Let's get the truth going on. Let's go to the Team Sky website here. Let's go to Team Sky website. So you can see here, fluctuation in body weight there. Let's go to the team website and get some truth bombs. So if you go to Chris Froome Sugar Diet, you'll see Chris Froome winning the Tour de France. This diet doctor guy does good SEO. Saying goodbye to most carbohydrates, introducing more fatty protein. Like, you go and eat a plate of salmon and eggs, and then go and try and push watts. You'll push watts in the toilet with salmonella poisoning, but you ain't going to be pushing shit. You ain't going to be pushing shit. Let's have a look at, So we go to Chris Froome's Twitter. He's making this is pure sugar. Fruit is just pure sugar. Calories coming from sugar, pure sugar. And he's blending it up on the thing. So we see that he's carbon up on the fruits, but it is a little bit, look at that. Look at this one. Look at that one. It's not all about carbo loading. So he has that for breakfast. That is like, we're talking maybe 150, 200 calories right there. And then going riding fucking at 300 watts for 5 hours. Nobody's fucking doing that. I don't care what drugs you take. I don't care who you are. You ain't doing 5 hours at 300 watts on a 150 calorie breakfast, are you? You ain't. So it is a good troll going on there. It definitely distracts. Protein's good for recovery. So this is what they this is where the confusion can lay. Let's go find that Team Sky article, what Chris Froome actually did eat. Not just what was a little post on social media, but what actually did get consumed when he needs to perform. Let's find out. Okay, so here we have, this is BBC Sport. So I said, this is some proper maths. Now, this shit fucking makes sense. So he's having Haribo, what sure that is, that Haribo lollies. So lollies, cherries, banana slices, smoothie, 400 grams of rice with syrup, and it's got 430 grams. This is a meal, 430 grams of carbs, So there you go. So you got one meal, 430 grams of carbs in a meal. That's a fucking lot of carbohydrate. That is good. All right, here we go. Come on. Where is He's taking in 500 grams of sugar in the race. Okay. I would definitely be having more for breakfast than 80 grams of carbohydrate. You'd be bonking a lot sooner. So 400 grams of rice. So this is different, isn't it? This is different. Hilly, it doesn't add up, does it? That you would have double the calories. Double the calories and only a little bit extra calorie burn. So seems is missing data here. All right, so we've got Chris Froome breakfast. He's having 190 grams of carbohydrate, 1,000 calorie breakfast. 1,000-calorie breakfast, and then he's having 500 grams of sugar on the bike, which is what I recommend. Fill up a drink bottle, 500 grams of sugar, and go and flog it at work, in the bedroom, anywhere you are. There you go. Let's find out more. So yeah, it's all about carbohydrate, isn't it? It's all about carbohydrate. So let's see what we can see. So they've really, pinned it really well. Make sure he gets enough carbohydrate. So they've even got it 4 times water, gels per bottle. It's just sugar and water, and they're just telling all these helpers, make sure you got your water bottles, 2 gels per bottle. They sticky tape on there probably. Rocket fuel. What is rocket fuel? Let's find out what Team Sky is. Rocket fuel. What does rocket fuel mean? Rocket fuel is beta fuel. Beta fuel. Should be called alpha fuel. Multiple source carbohydrate, mix of maltodextrin and fructose. So this contains 80 grams of carbohydrate. So they're really chugging in. That's James Morton, and that guy who's talking about low carb and shit. And now he's like, oh no, carbs up. Rocket fuel. So this is really cool. This is the crux here. This is what the riders are actually eating when it comes to winning $1 million bike races. All right. So you can have these little low carb blogs saying Chris Froome, he won the Tour de France on eggs and bacon. And then you have the Team Sky hard data talking about rocket fuel, which is like multiple source sugar drinks. So there you go. So you see how confused some people are out there. And I think Chris Froome should do a better job of, debunking the claims out there. It's just, I mean, if you're a Chris Froome fan and you read one of these low carb blogs, you're like, oh wow, cool. Chris Froome doesn't do carbohydrate. And then you go out there and you try and eat an egg diet. And then you run into ketosis, and maybe you have a really bad crash on your bike, and you end up in a wheelchair or you get hit by a car because you're undercarbed, because you're trying to emulate Chris Froome's Chris Froome's low carb live and la vida blog that you've read on some wacko's internet website, and you try and emulate that and get so undercarb that you crash your bike and have a traumatic experience. That's fucked. So Chris Froome does have a responsibility. So hey guys, look, this is actually what we do. Chris Froome has that responsibility. He has that responsibility. And if some people say, hey, if you're dumb enough to believe Chris Froome does low carb, then you're dumb enough to, no one can help you that much. I can sort of see that point, but no. We have a responsibility of being transparent what we eat. So there you go. We have that carbohydrate, sugar for Chris Froome. And people say, oh, that's okay because he does exercise. Well, no one on the planet Earth could consume 500 grams of sugar just sitting there watching TV, because you'd be so sick of eating sugar, unless you needed it. If your body needs it, you'll be able to guzzle it in. If you don't need it, you'll be like, oh man, I can't do this. But with fatty foods like KFC and stuff, you just keep chowing it down. There's no off switch with fat. There's an off switch with sugar. It's called sickly sweet. It's like, I can't do no more, or volume wise, can't eat any more ice, I'm done. It's so easy. Fat is 9 calories per gram. Carbohydrates 4 calories per gram. So it's so hard to overeat a carbohydrate physically. You'd be spewing up. You'd be vomiting. So there you go. That's just the example there. Chris Froome's high sugar diet. Rocket fuel. Durianrider was right all along. Let's see if we can find some more data on Chris Froome in terms of the big sugar meals they had. And this is another one as well that people experience. On my advice, rice, fruits, and sugar. It's suppression of appetite and meal fatigue due to eating the same food every day for weeks. You know what I mean? If you're eating the same foods, the same high carbohydrate foods, eventually your body's like, yeah, I'm good, And so the weight loss comes off of that as well. Diet of a tour rider, so you'll see Chris Froome there, as lean as durianrider. Breakfast, let's have a look. One thing all riders avoid is eating heavy food. Sports nutrition to BMC. They're just eating pastries from the hotel breakfast bar because this type of food isn't fully digested in time to start. Pastries full of fat. Fat is very slow to digest. Typically rice cakes with honey, raisin bread, a sports bar, consume with fluid. What else can we see here? Jam cakes, energy bars, electrolyte drinks, sugar drinks. What else we got? Carbohydrate-rich foods. what we've got here. Carbohydrate snacks. So it's just snacks. Carbohydrate. Let's have a look here. See if we can find out here. Bulky salads and vegetables are swapped for fresh fruit and vegetable juices, and carbohydrate powders are stirred into food and drink to increase calories, the carbs. Carbohydrate consumption must begin as soon as the stage does, So this is okay, so here we go. The body relies on glucose for energy, hard exercise. High proportion of calories consumed by riders come from a carbohydrate. 1,100 grams of sugar a day for 70-kilo rider. Carbohydrate is needed for high-intensity efforts such as breakaway and tough climbs. So in training, if you're doing that train low, race high thing, how are you going to train at 400 watts if you don't have enough carbohydrate in your body? And if you can't train at 400 watts, how are you going to do that race day? You're not going to be able to. So let's have a look if we can see that there's a little data thing I saw out there a while back, but can't find it. But yeah, basically, sugar. It's just how it is. Nitrates and gels and stuff like that. Glucose plus fructose. Even Power to Max, C2 Max contains multiple forms of sugar. Helps use more carbohydrate per hour than conventional nutrition products. It's just sugar, and more sugar. So that's Chris Froome's race diet, getting lean. Sugar. That's what he's eating. That's what his sponsors are saying. That's what his teams are saying. That's what all the other people are saying. That's what you see on TV. You see him reaching for bananas and gels and rice cakes. You don't see Chris Froome gnawing on a big steak in the middle of a mountain stage, because that would sit in your gut and cause a massive amount of digestive upset. And they're eating bananas, they're eating fruit, they're eating rice cakes. Sweet things. Hopefully that clarifies any confusion. If you have any low-carb friends out there, so Chris Froome's low-carb, point them to this video. And Chris Froome does have that responsibility to show people how much he does eat carbohydrate-wise, but it's a lot. It's not a lot. It's just enough, and that's what we need to do. So it's just proof in the pudding. That's why I can stay Tour de France lean all year long. Just with rice, fruits, sugars, just basic staple foods. I keep my diet very low fat. Easy to stay lean. Thanks for watching.